So this video is just by way of introduction to a few videos that I'm going to have on the channel over the next few weeks of my sort of normal cycle. And I'm just kind of setting it up now because I'm going to do this one in a slightly random slot, just so that you're aware of what's coming, because you might need to free a little bit of space up if you're interested in watching them. Reason being that it all sort of revolves around a Comic Con, which is held in a place called Cromford Mill. Now, Cromford Mill is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Try saying that multiple times quickly. So it's basically the birthplace of the factory as a concept, really, in here in the UK, if not everywhere. So it's a really unique setting to have a Comic Con because it's largely open air. There are a few sort of enclosures, a few buildings, as a sort of tent area where models are displayed of various science fiction flavours. And that was what first drew me to the place, because I think Facebook told me there was this collection of science fiction stuff being displayed there, and it was, Thunderbirds and everything Jerry Anderson and other stuff beside. So in fact, probably during COVID times, I went down there with an idea of A, having a look around, and B, promoting one of my Lego Ideas projects that was on the go at that point in time. So I kind of did that. So I try and get down there every year, and did so this year. So I went down on the Saturday before, and I went into Matlock as my first stop, having got down. And there I go to the Vintage Toy Exchange to have a look and see what they've got going on. And I've done a few videos there. They're very amenable to that, so it's no problem. But this time I actually filmed using this mic, so I could do it live, which I don't normally do. I normally do a commentary afterwards. So that's a little bit different. So I will put that one up probably second in the overall scheme of things. So I'll probably do that next Monday. But I want to start with a gentleman called Ian. And Ian has a little place called the Collector's Corner in Cromford itself, which is literally just next door to Cromford Mill. And he's a very, very lovely chap. He's got a very, very tiny store. So he's very dependent on people going in, because he doesn't really have an online presence, but he does have a really interesting Facebook page that he keeps up, which I'll link to. And that is, a really good tool for him to draw people in, because the difficulty that Ian has is that if people don't come in during the tourist season, it's quite quiet outside the tourist season. Because it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, he gets quite a lot of footfall. There's some festivals there's a Why Not Festival that's held in the area as well. All sorts going on in Derbyshire, lovely part of the world. I really like it. That's why I try and get down there every year. And so Ian is quite focused on comics. So that's slightly different to where I normally go. But he also does some vintage toys as well. So you'll see from the video that, it's a really sort of small store. He's got sort of some regulars. But anything that we could do to help him as a community would be greatly appreciated. So I'm going to do one of my normal sort of toy store videos, and Ian is actually going to introduce himself on the video, which is slightly unusual because often the owners kind of shy away from doing that sort of thing. Obviously, Gareth, you're an exception, but he's a very, very charismatic chap. And that was what kind of attracted me to go and visit him, as I was down that end anyway. It was no skin off my nose, But he really sort of comes across as someone who is there to help, and nothing is too much trouble. And he was very, very generous with his time with me. We had good conversations. I gave him some stuff, he gave me some stuff, and it worked out nicely for the both of us. So I'm going to do his video on Thursday. Next Monday, I'm going to put out a very long video by my standards. It's going to be well over an hour, so it's not going to be for the faint-hearted. But that will be my video of the time I spent at the Comic Con at Cromford in glorious weather. It was just nice enough breeze that I didn't melt, which was brilliant. So Colin Baker was there, Sixth Doctor, David Sissons, all sorts of other model makers were there. Incredible stuff there, Richard Ashton. So all sorts of stuff was there that you can obviously, you will see. It's a GoPro video for the vast majority of the time, but it does seem to have worked all right. I think the sound's not too bad. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad. And I was primarily there for me to look around for me, but I did go around with my GoPro strapped to my chest. So, people didn't seem to bat an eyelid at that. So I just wandered around. I met a Deadpool from Halifax, as you do. It's just a completely random coincidence. So yeah, it was a really, really nice day. Lots of folk there, and surprisingly, I got more toy footage than I was expecting, because I think I may have just missed it in the past, but there are a lot actually of people who do come there to sell. So actually, I got something, and again, I will do a pickups video, but that could be, I don't know, 2 weeks away now. But I will do a pickups video, and the pickups I got, as is often the way when I go to toy fairs, they were not at all what I was looking for. So you'll probably, I certainly chuckled when I saw what I'd come away with, because I just thought, what on earth were the odds of me finding that there when I didn't even realise there were going to be that many sellers there? It was just crazy. So basically I'm going to go Ian, Cromford, Vintage Toy Exchange, I think in that order. I think that'll sort of suit my slots reasonably well. And I'm just going to throw this out whenever I throw it out as a bit of an interlude. So keep your eye open for those ones. Just something to, to give you a heads up on, basically, because obviously I only do it once a year. I don't manage it every year, but I try to, because it's just a nice chilled out sort of Comic Con. It was funny this year because we actually had to pay to get in this year, although it was only £4, and I could walk straight in as well. So I didn't actually get a wristband until about 2 hours after I'd already been wandering around. So on that note, I will leave it there. And I've got a few other ideas as well that are going to be happening. So keep your eyes peeled, and do like and subscribe as ever. And I'll see you for the first Cromford videos before long. Cheers for now.